Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Adrianne. So great to do this with you.
It is. It is. I've been wanting us to do something together for a while. So, this is our first episode of Shifting into Peace. I
I
guess
love
we should
it.
say, welcome to Shifting into Peace.
Welcome to Shifting into Peace.
This is the first
So we
step.
got to ask what this is all about. What did we plan when we planned this podcast?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll let you start.
Well, you and I have been friends for a long time, and one of the things that we gain from each other is some spiritual growth and challenges that we've had through the years. And I have learned so much from you about how to change my perspective about situations when I have agita or when I have a disruption to my peace. And so when you said you wanted to do a podcast with me, we were both kind of, ideating about what topics came to mind, and this one just felt perfect
Yeah,
because it's really the whole journey of life is how do you continually every day in every way, every minute shift into peace
yeah.
and allow a shift of perception really.
I agree. I agree. And maybe we start, I think you suggested this a few minutes ago. We start by saying what peace means to us
Mm.
and what does it mean to you, the whole
Mhm.
idea of peace.
Yeah, so for me, the peace comes from the absence of fear, the absence of agita, of conflict, of disruption to my soul, and, you can feel it when you have any negative emotions at all. If you have anger, if you have jealousy or fear or sadness or anything like that, peace comes from the absence of those things. It's how we escalate ourselves and shift up the map of consciousness, as David Hawkins put it. Peace comes right under enlightenment, and it's above joy even. So to me, peace is just smooth.
Yeah.
Just I have nothing that's disturbing me at this moment, and nothing could disturb me in this moment because I have the knowing of the higher consciousness.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think I so relate to you when you say it's the absence of it. That's when I know that I'm not in peace, and I
Mhm.
think because I live alone, I am used to being in a state of peace, or if I'm not, I'm doing something to bring me into a state of peace. So if
Mhm.
I'm out in the world, excuse me, if I'm out in the world and I'm feeling a lot of angst, or if I come back home and I realize that I'm feeling angst, then that has brought me to an awareness of how much peace means to me.
Mhm.
You know?
What you just said struck a chord in me because I've recently shifted from working in an office to working at home by myself and with my husband in our business, and I've noticed so much more peace, and when I go out into the world, sometimes that peace gets disrupted, and, I've heard people say, enlightenment isn't just the mountaintop experience. It's being in the middle of people, interacting with people, and hearing daily problems and experiencing daily problems and still having peace. So
Yeah,
I think one of the points of this conversation is going to be what are the tools that we can use
yeah,
to experience that,
yeah.
no matter whether we're alone by ourselves in our peace or out in the world
Mhm.
amongst people's problems.
Yeah, I completely agree. And to that, for me, I know that if I'm uh do my meditation, or a lot of times I've mentioned to you in the past, or to other people, that I do sometimes. A friend, Jazz Jones, has this breath meditation that I like to do,
Mhm,
and it's like 25 minutes. And after I do that meditation, it goes through the chakras,
mhm,
and then it ends in a meditation, the breath work. And
mhm,
then I go into my own prayer and meditation. And I have definitely found that it's kind of like a separation, for lack of a better word, from problems that come up.
mhm.
Something that might ordinarily bother me, I might feel like, well, that's over there. It's not affecting me in the same way. I'm able to maintain my space of peace.
I love that you said that. I actually almost wore my Just Breathe T-shirt for this first podcast. But I love the breath, and I love to use the breath as a check-in for myself to just say, "Am I experiencing agita about this?" Because when I can stop and check my breath, when I feel like something maybe isn't quite right, I'll stop and check my breath, and if I draw it in and it's totally smooth, then I feel like I'm probably letting it go and letting whatever's out there stay out there. But if I can draw it in and I feel a catch, like a then it starts to create a
Mhm.
sense of, "Oh, there's something within me that I need to start looking at and healing," because
Yeah.
that tells me that my energy is not fully clear.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I sometimes can often, I might wake up in the morning and maybe there's something that's, on my mind that I don't wanna deal with, or, I have to my day's gonna go in a direction that I would rather it, not go in, as far
Mhm,
as what I'm gonna be doing that day.
mhm,
And so I might feel a little something, a little anxiety before, I have to take my dog out before I sit down and feed the dog before I sit down and do prayer and meditation. And
mhm.
so I will um usually listen to some spiritual teacher. Like, it might be Abraham Hicks or Michael Beckwith. It could be anybody, or I might listen to gospel music,
Mhm,
something I'm listening to.
mhm.
And this week I actually did a chakra meditation I
Nice.
listened to, but I was bringing that up because sometimes whenever that teacher's talking, if I'm listening to a spiritual teacher, they'll say something that might click for me or really
Mhm,
resonate for me,
mhm.
and that'll really shift me, whereas I was in anxiety, and then it'll just shift me before I even sit down to do my prayers and meditation.
It's so important to start the day that way. It sets the tone for the whole day. So one of the things that I would like to share, we didn't discuss this ahead of time, but I think it's helpful. Is I drew a card right before I came to this conversation. I like to meditate with the angels, and one of the things that I do is I pull angel cards, and the card that I drew today was Destiny, and it's this card that has a rainbow over it, and it has a person looking in a celebratory way, and it says, "Our destiny is who we came to be in this life, and all of us came to remember ourselves as spirit and return to a state of being. Our destiny is our unique self identity in this life, which is connected to the common experience of ourselves as light and spirit in eternity. As we embrace our destiny, which only we can live, all knowledge opens up for us. Our destiny is our personal happiness. It is the living the design that our soul has created for us in such a way as to fulfill ourselves and those assigned to us." And I won't read all of it, but I wanted to just bring this into the conversation because I think part of peace is letting go of the things that we think are going to bother us so that we can become a greater version of ourselves. And when we can really learn to manage those things that disturb and disrupt our peace, then we open ourselves up to the greater purpose of our lives, which is to be really living in our destiny.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I want that to be sort of an intention setting that we make for this podcast is that we're doing this for a purpose, and the purpose is to live a bigger, more authentic version of ourselves.
Absolutely. I love that part of, what you read, the destiny did it say this? Our destiny, something like it's what our soul the destiny our soul designed for us?
Yes, yes. Our destiny is our personal happiness. It is living the design that our soul has created for us in such a way as to fulfill ourselves and those assigned to us.
Mhm. And
I will.
those assigned to us. Wow.
Mhm. Which means everybody we come in contact with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
in contact with people on purpose.
Yes. Yeah. I've been trying to, uh when I really am worried about something, I will think about how I'm trying to control that situation, and
Mhm.
that it's not my control. Like, my life really has had so much grace, so
Mhm.
much, grace of God, so many
Mhm.
blessings. And so I have to sometimes remind myself, oh, I'm trying to control right now.
Mhm.
I'm really lately just trying to just give it to God, let God worry about it, or God's not gonna worry about it, but, I can give this to God, and I
Mhm.
can stop worrying about it. I can, give it to the Holy Spirit. There's a line in A Course in Miracles that I have in my phone, because I have different lines for different, hours of the day, and
Mhm.
sometime in the evening, it says, "I can give the Holy Spirit all that would hurt me."
Wow.
And so
That's
that's I can just let that go. I can
yeah,
just put it over there.
yeah. That's powerful. Yeah, I've been studying the Course in Miracles a little bit this year. I know you've studied it for almost 20 years, and I'm just getting started. So I feel like the novice talking to the person who knows so much and has taught me so much already. But one of the things that has really spoken to me is that when we have a thought that is different from God, then that is ego and it is false perception. And that is the whole point of the Course in Miracles, is to take away those false perceptions and connect with the same thoughts of God, because those are our true thoughts, the ones of our divine spirit. And that to me also speaks to what this podcast is about, is how can we say these things that are happening to me, and like you talked about, you give it up to God, are not happening to me. They're happening for me and within me, and they represent a false perception that we hold that's not truth. And all we need to do is step back and say, this doesn't work for me. And
Mhm.
how can I see this differently? And that's the whole shift of perception that we're talking
Yeah.
about, the shift into peace.
Yes, yes, and there's even a line, in A Course in Miracles, there's a couple, "I could have peace instead of this,"
Mhm,
and then there's another line, and it's, "To have peace, be peace."
mhm,
To have peace, be peace.
mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
And I hope that's what we can offer the world, is if we can be peace in this podcast and in our
Yeah,
everyday lives, then we're starting to make that little shift that starts the ripple that shares out to the world, and maybe other people pick it up and they get something from this, and then we continue to spread peace everywhere.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's my hope.
Um, and what are some tools that you have?